Hi everybody, I'm Dee.
And I'm Jay,
and we are ParoDeeJay.
We are back with another exciting episode of ParoDeeJay's Port Guides. Today we're actually jumping to, I'm going to still say, one of my favorite ports in the U.S. Virgin Islands. We're at St. Thomas.
Yay!
Now today, I know there are two docks at St. Thomas, Crown Bay, but the one we're focusing on is the one that we have been into more, which is Havensight, or which is also called West Indian Company, I believe. But anyway, so we're going to talk about sort of all of St. Thomas, but mostly our navigating the port and all of that will be focusing on Havensight at St. Thomas. Right. We have some future trips booked where we should be going into Crown Bay, but we've never actually ported into Crown Bay.
Nope.
So I guess let's start with our navigating the port section for Havensight. So you come off the ship and you're right there immediately on the pier. The pier is not too long. I know there's like a security gate that you just walk right out to, and then you get spit right out into the Havensight shopping mall area. The Havensight Mall itself, we've done a little bit of exploration in there. I think it's got
Went
like
to the Croc store.
Yeah, it's got like 18 or 20 shops that are kind of there in nice long rows, and there's like some other shopping around the Havensight area. Yeah. So there's a good amount to do if you just kind of want to wander around and browse stores and look.
Lots of good options.
Yeah, so you know, some stuff going on just outside the security gate that you can walk to. They used to have a butterfly garden over there, but that did shut down after a hurricane. I know that's not there anymore. They also used to have a Senor Frogs, but I don't even know if the Senor Frogs is operating.
I didn't see
it. I know, but a lot of stuff to just walk around and see and do right there outside, you know, pretty much without wandering too far away from the port.
Right. Staying inside the gate.
That's really about all there is to the port. I know another thing that's not too far to walk to, they do have the skyride up to Paradise Point, which is an easy walk. We'll talk about that a little later. But that's a pretty easy walk from the port as well to go up and, you know, get a nice scenic view and all that stuff. But I guess let's go ahead and move on to our next section, which is ship excursions. I have selected 6 excursions from Carnival because they are our most sailed line, just to show you some things that you can do in and around St. Thomas.
Cool.
So first up, we have Pirates Treasure Shipwreck Museum, which actually this is located right next to the skyride at Paradise Point, like literally next door. So it's probably something good to do in conjunction with going up the skyride. We have not peeked over there, but just something fun, fairly inexpensive to go into and look around, you know, if you're just looking to kill some time in St. Thomas without getting too far from the port. My second choice was St. Thomas Skyride to Paradise Point, which obviously, there we go, we talked about that. Now the excursion does not include transportation, so basically you are just buying a ticket up the mountain. And you walk over there. I believe it's actually about $1 or $2 cheaper per person to buy it from the ship than it is to walk over and say, can I have a ticket?
I think it's $1.
Yeah, so you can buy it directly, but it's cheaper to go through the ship. That's a rarity.
Gotta save while you can, right?
I know. We also have the Magens Bay Beach Getaway. I think this was one of the lesser expensive beach getaway options through the ship. It's kind of like a scenic drive. They stop at some overlooks and you see some cool stuff, and then they take you to Magens Bay, which is one of the most popular
beaches.
Yeah, if you're talking St. Thomas, you're normally going to hear Magens Bay, Sapphire Beach, Koki Beach. That's probably
about
your
3 I've heard.
Your big 3. There's tons of them, but that's your big 3 right there on St. Thomas, I would say. So. Number 4 is Coral World and Beach. Now, this is kind of like an aquarium-y type of thing that has a snorkel option as well, but they have turtles over there. They have stingrays. They have all sorts of stuff that you can go see. We have not been to Coral World, but it is on my short list of things that we still need to do in St. Thomas.
That would be cool.
I know. The next one is the Kon-Tiki Party Boat and Beach Fun, and this is, we've seen this one. It's kind of a converted barge, and they basically have a steel band that plays on it. They take you over, I believe, to a place that we'll talk about here in a little while, which is Honeymoon Beach.
Yes.
We'll get to that. Beautiful place.
Oh my gosh.
And it's just kind of like a party boat. They play music. I didn't read the description enough to know if it includes like actual alcohol and all in on the package, but for the price, I would assume it would. I mean, they're billing it as a party boat, and what kind of party boat would it be without alcohol? But they're probably at least going to be able to sell you alcohol. But anyway, party time. And my last pick for St. Thomas was the St. John Trunk Bay Beach Getaway and Snorkel. So basically, when you're in St. Thomas, you can access 2 of the other Virgin Islands fairly easily. And St. John is one of the more popular ones. And this is a way to, you can do it on your own, but this is a nice coordinated way to do it through the ship. You basically have to take a ferry. You take a taxi from the port to Red Hook, and then a ferry over to St. John, and then another taxi to Trunk Bay. Or
There's
just,
a lot to it.
Just let the ship do it for you. So, but yeah, we haven't been over to St. John yet. That's also on our short list.
Yes.
Trunk Bay, definitely.
The snorkeling is supposed to be incredible at Trunk Bay Beach. There's like trails and stuff underwater. So cool.
One day we're going to get over there.
We just have to have time.
True. So let's get into our exploring on your own section. So if you don't necessarily want to just stick right around the port. Now there is a lot to do on the port, so we'll include that stuff here. Havensight Mall, we talked about earlier. Lots of stores, lots of shopping, lots of browsing, restaurants and food. I mean, you can get all sorts of stuff right there at the port.
Yeah.
We also mentioned the sky ride up to Paradise Point, so I'll put a little bit of our footage from our time, riding up to the sky ride and getting a bushwhacker on all of that.
Get a bushwhacker.
Bushwhacker chokes you up. We did that on our Vista sailing from 2016. Yeah. If you want to venture just a little bit further out, you can always hop a cab. And I know one of the more popular places to go is the Capitol, which is Charlotte Amalie. Lots of shopping. We did wander around there.
We did, because they dropped us off. And there's like tons of Diamond International, so you can get all your little charms. Actually, there's a couple different locations to do that. Watch stores, restaurants.
It's a lot of jewelry.
Lots of jewelry, mostly jewelry. Then.
Yeah, if you go to the Caribbean, you're gonna find a lot of jewelry stores.
If you're looking for something, hey, that's your area.
That's right. But yeah, tons of shopping right there in the Capitol.
Yep.
You can also just catch a cab to the beach, like we talked about before. Megan's, Sapphire, Koki, any of those guys, just hop a cab and have a nice little beach day on your own.
Megan's does have a $5 entry fee.
Yeah, whereas Koki and Sapphire were free.
Yeah, in 2020, it's $5.
But just to help, with maintenance and upkeep and all of that. And the other thing that we touched on, but we'll talk a little bit more now, is that when you are on in St. Thomas, you can jump to one of the other Virgin Islands. Now, there are, little known fact, I guess, I always thought there were 3 Virgin Islands.
Yeah, me too.
St. Thomas, St. John, St. Croix. We always forget about Water Island, the 4th Virgin Island. So from St. Thomas, you can jump to St. John or Water Island fairly quickly.
It's tiny.
Yeah, St. John has, of course, the taxi to a ferry to another taxi, and you can do that on your own. It's probably cheaper than going through the ship, but it's a lot of logistics. But the one that we have done that we will talk about more is Water Island. If you are at the Crown Bay dock, there is a ferry that leaves right from there, and it takes you over to Water Island. Super cheap. I think it was $10 a person. Really short ride over there, and there's a couple of nice little beach bars on what is called Honeymoon Beach.
And they have bushwhackers and peanut butter bushwhackers.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh,
all right.
guys.
Tell me about your day at Honeymoon Beach.
Okay, so it's a beautiful, very small island. The beach chairs are included and things like that. It is first come, first served, so the later in the day, there may not be as many, but it's beautiful.
That's all.
So the water is crystal clear. The snorkeling for fish was good.
Mediocre.
Not as great. But what you go for are turtles.
Yeah, apparently.
Giant turtles. So I hung out with like 3 different turtles
like Ninja
throughout
Turtles.
the day.
If there were 4, it would have been Ninja Turtles.
You guys haven't seen it yet because it's on the
The footage is coming. They're watching the footage right now.
Oh, awesome.
Right now.
Yeah, there may have been some emotions involved. It was just an amazing day. So I could have spent all day there and totally worth the price. So if you really want to see sea turtles, now it is, animals, they're going to do what they want. But
they're
we
not
were
in a
so
pen.
fortunate to see them that day, and it was amazing. Thank you so much to the Cohens who told us about that, because they did that and they suggested we should do that. So
they were like, you guys have to check this out.
Now we're giving the secret out, and you guys should go check it out.
Wait, should we be telling our secrets about where the cool places are to go?
I'm sure they do. Yeah.
But we ended up, when you get off the water taxi, there is a shuttle there, because the funny thing is there are, at least on Honeymoon Beach, I saw 2 beach bars. Now Honeymoon Beach is like this.
Teeny tiny.
You pass one to get to the other. Well, the guys at the second bar, they run the shuttle up at the ferry.
Smart.
So as soon as you get off the ferry, they're like, hey, do you want to come? I think it's Dingy's Beach Bar. You get on the shuttle, you bypass that first place, and they take you over to theirs, which is the second stop.
So you can walk to the other one.
Yeah.
And you can
totally
walk
cool.
to Honeymoon Beach, but it is downhill. You could walk, but we did take the shuttle.
Yeah, it's not that far of a walk, but there was a hill involved, and we said, we're just going to ride. Because it was free or for tips.
For tips, yeah. And word to the wise, make sure you maybe take not the last shuttle back, because it only has room for so many people, and if everybody's waiting on that, you might miss your ship.
Yeah,
I don't know.
We took the next to last shuttle back, and I think that worked a lot better. We avoided the crowds.
Plus, we had to get back to the other terminal. So, yeah. But it was so good. We're
Such
definitely going to
day.
do that again.
I know.
100%.
Yeah, and then another way, of course, that you can always be on your own without being fully on your own is through tour vendors, and we have worked with one. There are a few in St. Thomas, but we did work with Sunny Liston Tours, and we did a tour basically of the entire island. They took us over for shopping in Charlotte Amalie. They took us to some scenic overlooks where I got to learn about steel drums, and I bought a CD from the guy. And then they took us up to the mountaintop. Now, fun fact, I was not aware that there are 2 mountaintop bars, at least, on St. Thomas. There is Paradise Point, which is where I thought we were going.
Bushwhackers.
Where you get bushwhackers. And then there is the mountaintop.
Banana daiquiris.
Banana daiquiris.
That's what they're famous for.
The tour took us to the mountaintop for banana daiquiris.
And they're both beautiful, and there's tons of shopping at the mountaintop. So there are things to do. We just were confused as to which one it
The
was.
mountaintop, I believe, looks down onto Megan's Bay, I think is what we were looking at. It's a beach. I think it was Megan's.
And there's no sky ride to that. You have to go up, drive that hill.
Whereas Paradise Point, you're looking down onto the ship and the harbor, and that's very scenic as well. But Sunny Liston, overall good tour. I just had some confusion as to what was going to take place that day. But that was a good
Koki
option.
Beach, right?
We chose Sapphire.
Oh, Sapphire.
Yeah,
Beach.
we went to Sapphire.
I guess you get to pick
The
whatever
majority
rules.
vote of the van got to choose where we went.
And that's where we wanted to go.
Which was cool. But yeah, that was a good experience overall. All right, so let's jump to our last section, which is my favorite. It's free and frugal fun. So we rate on a scale of 1 to 10 how much fun can you have at the port of Havensight, specifically in St. Thomas, without spending a ton of money, or really any money if you don't have to. Now, there's a lot of shopping. Of course, shopping costs you money. But lots of things to just kind of, walk around and see and browse.
Yeah.
And that's about it. There's not a whole lot going on that doesn't require a cab ride or a ticket up a mountain or something like that. So in my mind, I'm going to give it a rating kind of close to like a Cozumel or a Nassau or something that's shopping heavy without much else. So I'm going to go St. Thomas. I love you. You're beautiful. But for free and frugal, you get a 3.5.
Yeah, I would do the same, actually.
You're the exact same. You never agree with me.
There's always a first for something.
Wow. All right. Well, I guess our overall free and frugal fun rating for St. Thomas will be a 3.5.
Yeah.
Not bad. Beautiful port. Make plans to do something.
Go to Water Island.
Even if you just want to shop or go up the mountain. But Water Island, awesome. St. John, I can only imagine it's awesome.
You need more time, though.
Yeah, so tons of options. But anyway, I guess that is it for our port guide for St. Thomas. So hopefully you did enjoy. If you haven't already, make sure you are subscribed to the channel. Become a Paromaniac today. Socialize all our media, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
Yep. And until next time,
rock on.